So today we're going to learn about the power of a power property. You'll notice all the questions on these notes have a power inside parentheses, so it has a base with an exponent, but then also on the outside of them, they have another power out there. So we're going to kind of write out the first few just to see what's happening, and then we'll try to see if there's a pattern with them that we can use instead of writing it out every single time, okay? So for this first one, you have 2 squared to the 4th. So what this means is you're doing 2 squared 4 times. So go and write out 2 squared, 2 squared, 2 squared, and 2 squared. So we're doing 2 squared 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then let's also write out each of these 2 squareds. So your first 2 squared is right here. Here's your second 2 squared. Here's your third 2 squared, and here's your fourth 2 squared. Okay, so this 2 squared is right here. This 2 squared is here. Here's the third one, and here's the fourth one. And then from here, let's just kind of condense this and count up how many total 2's we have to multiply together. So you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is really 2 to the 8th. Okay. And then the nice thing now is we'll use our scientific calculator that will do this exponent for us. So I'm going to need you guys to bookmark it. That way we're using the same calculator. So if you go to Canvas, okay, and just go to the home page on Canvas. There's a couple things new here, but underneath the picture on the home page in Canvas, you see all these links. If you look at the third link down, so the first one is your policies, the second one is the for function, the third one is the Desmos Scientific Calculator. Go ahead and click on that, and then go ahead and bookmark this and just call it Scientific Calculator. That way you know that that is the scientific calculator that we're going to use. So this calculator is nice because it will do exponents for you. So we're trying to do 2 to the 8th, so you click the 2, and then see this A to the B button right there. You push that, and then put an 8, and that does 2 to the 8th for you. That way you don't have to multiply all out and try to worry about, did I have 8 2's or just 7? It just does it for you. So 2 to the 8th gives you 256. So then this answer right here is going to be a 256. All right. And if you notice what we did, and even from this step right here, we learned last class period that when you are multiplying with the same base and you're multiplying, you can just add up all your exponents. So really from this, from this step right here, you could have just done 2 and then add all those 2's. That's what we learned last period, is you just add your exponents as long as the bases are the same and it's being multiplied. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 2 will also give you 2 to the 8th. Okay. All right, so there's 2 different ways to show why we end up with 2 to the 8th, and then we're going to find a shortcut as well. But let's write this one out as well. So for this next one, we're doing -3 to the 3rd. We're doing it 2 times. So here's another -3 to the 3rd. Like we learned last class period, you take your -3, and then if the base is the same and you're multiplying it, then you just add these exponents together. So 3 plus 3 ends up giving you -3 to the 6th. And then again, let's go back to our Desmos Scientific Calculator. When you type in -3 to the 6th, please keep negatives in parentheses, and to do a negative, just click the minus sign, and that's a negative. So there's my -3, click the A to the exponent of B button, and then put your 6. So -3 to the 6th gives you a positive 726. Again, please make sure that -3 is in parentheses. So I got 729 for this answer. 729. All right, and then lastly, let's see if we can try to come up with some patterns or what's happening here. So for this one, you had a base of 2, which our final answer had a base of 2, and then we had it squared, but also to the 4th, and we ended up with 8. Okay, for this one, we had a base of -3. We kept it as a base of -3. And then we had an exponent of a 3 and a 2, which ended up to be a 6 if we keep it as an exponent. So just think, what do you do with 2 and 4 to get 8? And then what do you do with 3 and 2 to get 6. Okay, so notice your shortcut here, and I'll write this in blue down at the bottom. Your shortcut is when you have a power to another power. So a power of a power. When you have a power to another power, your base stays the same, and then you just take your 2 powers and you multiply them together. So 2 times 4 gives you 8. So this will give you 2 to the 8, which ends up giving you 256 when you multiply it out. Same thing here. Keep the negative 3, and then do 3 times 2, and we know 3 times 2 is 6, so that gives me negative 3 to the 6, which is what I had here, and then multiply it out, and you get your 729. Okay, so that's your shortcut. To find a power of a power, we just multiply our exponents together, and that's only when you have a power and then another power right next to it, right above it. We multiply our exponents. Okay, so let's try these next ones. So for number 1 down here, you have 8 to the 3rd squared. Keep the base, multiply your 2 exponents. So we have 8 to the 6th. And again, let's use our Desmos scientific calculator. Do 8 to the 6th is 262,144. So we get 262,144. Nice and big number. All right, let's try another one. Okay, so for number 2, same idea. Keep the negative 5, keep it in parentheses. You're just doing 4 times 2. I know 4 times 2 is 8, so I'm doing negative 5 to the 8th. Okay, to do that, keep it in parentheses. Here's your negative 5. Close your parentheses, then bring it up to the 8th power, and it's 390,625. So 390,625. Okay, and then last one we have for practice here. Go and try this one, and it's very similar. The only difference is this a plus 2, we're just going to leave it. As a plus 2, we haven't learned what to do when you have this happening inside of your parentheses. So we're just going to leave that, but we can fix this. We can fix the 7 and the 2, the squared out there. Okay, so our final answer here is going to be the a plus 2, and then 7 times 2 is 14. So a plus 2 in parentheses, and then to the 14. Okay. All right, and then lastly, when you have adding involved in the parentheses right there, like again, that's our next unit, so we haven't done that yet. We will learn how to do that, but this one is asking, is it the same thing to do the x plus 3, the quantity x plus 3 to the 5th, and then doing x to the 5th plus 3 to the 5th? They want to know if it's the same thing. Your answer here is no, because when you take x plus 3 to the 5th, when you do this, that's like doing x plus 3 plus x. It's like doing that 5 times. So you're doing this 5 times. So there's once. There's another time. So it's twice. 3 times. 4 times. And 5 times. And the problem with that is the addition sign in the middle here. So that does change things. If that was multiplication, if it was just 3x, that'd be fine. We could do that. But it's not 3x. It's 3 plus x or x plus 3. So no, those are not going to be the same thing. We're going to learn about this in Unit 7. We will learn what to do when that happens.